Hello and welcome to another edition of Monday Motivation with Bukola. It's a show about inspiration, women empowerment, beauty, business, money, culture, entertainment, and advocacy. And today I have a very fabulous guest in the house for you. He is Professor Joseph Mbele. Is a professor of literature and folklore in the English department at St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota. Thank you so much, Professor, for coming on the show. We are really excited to have you here today.
Thank you very much.
And you know, as we roll on the show, we do our motivational quotes. And today I'm still at values.com. I'm sticking around there a little bit, I guess. So this quote is actually from Oprah Winfrey. And it says, create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. And this is from Oprah Winfrey. I will take it again. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. And this is from Oprah Winfrey. Basically, what that means to me is aim high. Don't shoot low. Some people will tell you, oh, you know, just try a little bit. No, don't try a little bit. Shoot really high. Because I believe also that if you shoot really high, you will fall in the sky. But if you shoot low, you're coming back to the floor. And you don't want to come back to the floor. So you want to shoot as high as you can. Look at fishermen. When they go on the high sea to catch fish with nets, they cast their net really wide to give them options to catch. If they cast it small, they might not catch anything for the day. So shoot really high. And shooting really high also means keep thinking about that thing you really desire for your life. What dream do you want? What do you want to become in your life? Keep dreaming about it. Think about it. You know, fantasize about it. Don't worry if somebody is telling you it's not possible. You are the only one that can determine if it is possible or not. So again, welcome to Monday Motivation with Bukola. It's a show about inspiration, women empowerment, beauty, business, money, culture, entertainment, and advocacy. And we have a fabulous guest in the house in the person of Professor Joseph Mbele from the from the college, St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota. Welcome again, Professor. We are really excited to have you here today to talk to us about folklore, literature, and I read in your bio that you help people with understanding culture and helping people with orientation. We'll get to that in a minute, but before we get there, we want to know, who is Professor Joseph Mbele?
Thank you very much. I am a Tanzanian. I have been in the United States teaching for about 26 years, but I'm a Tanzanian. And if I may say a word about the motivation and the background I come from, for some reason, I always wanted to be a teacher. Even before I started school, and I don't know why. I was the firstborn. I grew up in a village in southern Tanzania, and somehow I just felt I needed to be a teacher. And my father was very firm. He wanted me to excel in my studies. He could always, tell me that, I was free. He always told me I was free to go anywhere, but he insisted I had to perform very, very well. He would look at my exercise books. In elementary school, you have exercise books, And the teachers used to give us grades. You know, they would give you 100%, or 95% or 80. My father always insisted that I should get 100 on every page. If I got a 95, he told me, why didn't you get 100 on this page? So he pushed me very hard, but he was gentle at the same time. And then we started, English in third grade. For some reason, it became my favorite subject. And so that's how I became, a professor of literature and English.
Wow, what an interesting story you just told about your father. Because sometimes we do have parents who want us to excel, or who want us to excel in a particular field or in a particular area. And your father was persistent about bringing 100%, not just good grades, like bringing 100% home. So how did you survive that?
That's a good question. That's a good question. You know very well, you cannot do 100% every day on every test. But my father never relented. He kept asking, why didn't you get 100 on this page? So, and I was just a little boy, first grade, second grade. And you look at your father, he's a big man. It's like you are facing a giant. So somehow it was a bit scary, but it kept me working. No, he never punished me when I failed to get the 100, but he never relented. He always looked at me, and there was seriousness on his face. So I knew deep inside that nothing less than 100 would please my father. Even when I didn't get the 100, I knew. So I was driven by that guilt if I didn't get the 100. Wow. And that has never, disappeared in my life. The search for excellence, the quest for excellence has driven me. I'm not perfect. I will never be. I'm very aware of my limitations, but my father's voice keeps pursuing me in whatever I do. That's the story.
So would you say that your father's influence has been able to bring you to where you are today?
I would say yes. And also together with that, the teachers I had, they were equally serious. I went to Catholic school, and it was a school taught by mostly missionaries, German missionaries. And we have this stereotype of Germans as very strict. So you combine my father's influence and the German priests, and you can tell, it was not, a joke. We had to work hard. I thank them all the time. Absolutely.
So would you say that it's a great privilege for a child to have a parent who is persistent with coming home with good grades, matched with teachers who are also out there in school, ensuring that the kids are excelling and not just barely making the grades?
That is very true. And it's important to say those teachers in the village, they really, really wanted us to succeed. And they were tough on us. If we failed anything, I'm sorry to say, because the audience we have here, they might not like this, but our teachers used to whip us, and it was tough love. I know for a fact they meant well. That's what they believed, we needed. If we were not doing the right, things, we got punished, and the teachers walked in the class with a pile of sticks, and that's my background. And I tell my students even now here in the US, I'm very proud of that background. I know it's very unpopular, that kind of idea, But our parents and our teachers in those days, they really believed in the theory that, spare the rod, spoil the child.
That was what I was going to say next, because some people use the Bible to make that quote and say, oh, you have to spare the rod and spoil the child to make a child to excel. But there has been argument about that also, that spanking does not really help the kid. Doesn't really help the kids. So instead of spanking, use the words. So now we are in 2017, where everything has changed drastically. Academically, in the delivery, and in every area. Where, for example, in those days, where there was nothing like computers, talk less of internet. But now there are several options available to kids where there is internet. They're doing their homework now on the computer. As parents, we are filling forms to say whether we have internet access at home or not, for our kids to be able to catch up with what is being taught in class. So now coming to the present time, and you now be a teacher, how would you compare the life then and life now for kids? Would you say, part of the reason why the rod was focused on them was because there were not many options to help kids to excel?
Yeah, that's a fact. That is true. There's also a downside to this phenomenon. In our days, we were able to learn and retain a lot of knowledge. If you look at say arithmetic, we were able to do multiplication, we were able to do addition, just using our head. It really strengthened, our capacity to use our brains. Nowadays, I'm sorry, I'm saying this, but you ask kids, what is 2 plus 2 or 3 times 3, they have to use a calculator. And I'm really not in favor of this. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like somebody who doesn't like technology, but I'm proud of, the training we got. We could do the whole multiplication table just, without any use of gadgets and technology. I think that was valuable. We can debate the idea of spanking the kids, and we got spanked. I hear the theorists, the psychologists nowadays saying that spoils the child's self-esteem, and I'm asking myself, how come our self-esteem was not spoiled? How come our self-esteem is so strong? In spite of all that, I raise these questions in my classrooms when we read literature, for example, from different countries, and oftentimes you find, the novels, the plays, they bring up themes like this, how kids are disciplined in other cultures. You read an Indian novel, an African novel, and I enjoy talking to the students that, deep inside, I believe in this kind of discipline. And I tell the students, American students, I talk to your grandparents, and they all tell me that's how they were brought up. And your grandparents are really, really very smart people, So I like to challenge my students with these kinds of ideas, knowing fully well that they live in a different country, they live in a different time, they have, heard about, alternative ways of teaching kids and disciplining kids. But I want them to broaden their horizons and to reflect on the very things they are told, didn't work. By me telling them, look, they worked for us. They worked for your grandfather. So let's debate this, more comprehensively.
Oh, thank you so much, Professor. We're going to take a short break now. Don't go away. We will be right back. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Monday Motivation with Bukola. It's a show about inspiration, women empowerment, beauty, business, money, culture, entertainment, and advocacy. And I have a fabulous guest in the house today. He is Professor Joseph Mbele. He's a literature professor at St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota, and he's been talking about his life as a kid and his aspiration for teaching and his life now as a teacher who has been teaching at St. Olaf for 26 years. Wow, that is a long time. So I want to ask you, Professor, you've been teaching for 26 years. And you said that was what you desired to become from childhood. So would you say that your teaching career is a calling?
It is. It is, without any doubt. I have never in my life wanted to do anything else. All the way through my elementary, middle, secondary, high school, college in Tanzania, my dream was to be a teacher. In my country, when you were in secondary school, for example, you did exams, or in high school, you did exams, and then you chose careers. You had options. I never chose any option other than teaching. It was higher education or teaching. Because in those days, the government could actually select from the choices you made and took you someplace. But I didn't want to give my government any option, so I just chose higher education or teaching. I never, selected anything else. And I'm lucky, that's the way it worked out. As an undergraduate, I studied literature, English, and education. In other words, I have the opportunity now to read educational theory, methodology, to do teaching practice. So I really got shaped, as an undergraduate, and I did teaching practice too. So I was so happy to be fulfilling my dream, and I've never regretted it. To this moment, I will retire a teacher.
How nice.
Yes.
That is so nice to be able to desire something from childhood and grow into it and see it come to fruition. So that is it for you, those of you watching, to see how you can live your dream like Professor Mbele is doing. And then now you teach literature. You started from Dar es Salaam,
yes,
and then now you are in the US and you've been here for over 2 decades doing the same thing. What has the trend been in teaching from 26 years ago? What would you say the trend has been, or what has changed, or has still remained the same?
Okay, actually, I should say this. I was invited to this college, St. Olaf College, to the English department because this department felt that writing in English, literature in English, is now being produced all over the world, in all the former British territories. It's no longer something that comes only from the US and Great Britain. So that's how they brought me here to teach, global literatures in English. So it has been a big change for the college. Our students get a chance to broaden their horizons. And the other thing I should say is this. The literatures from these parts of the world, they continue to develop. There are new writers coming up all the time. I mean, you talk about places like your country, Nigeria. They have amazing writers, very young writers coming up. And the old ones are also there writing. And you go to places like Ghana, South Africa, you go to the Caribbean, you go to India, you go to Australia. So talking about changes, you are always on your toes, trying to keep up with what's going on. And it's always exciting. There are always new writers to teach, always new voices coming up. And I appreciate the students very much. They're genuinely interested in learning about new places, new peoples, new cultures. And I'm having a great time sharing this, a great time every day.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. We have to take another short break now, and we will be right back. Welcome back. If you are just joining us for the first time, this is Monday Motivation with Bukola. It's a show about inspiration, women empowerment, beauty, business, money, culture, entertainment, and advocacy. And I have a fabulous guest in the house today. He is Professor Joseph Mbele. He's a professor of literature at St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota. Thank you so much, Professor. You have been talking about teaching students literature and learning about different cultures as a result of that. You are also an author who have authored several books, but you have one that is kind of the most popular that you are using to teach different cultures, called Africans and Americans, Embracing Cultural Differences. What are the cultural differences you point out to students and learners to help them embrace the differences in the different cultures? Obviously, you know, America, Africa, other parts. so how are you able to kind of bring everybody to the center to see the uniqueness of the differences in the different cultures?
Thank you very much. This is a very important question, and especially in the world today, which is becoming very quickly a global village, and so many people have not figured out, you know, how to handle the increasing complexity. There is animosity, there's suspicion, there is tension, there's all kinds of things. Having lived in this country as a student, you know, I came here first as a student, University of Wisconsin, Madison. I was there for from 1980 to 1986. I noticed there were real differences. And we African students in Madison, Wisconsin, we used to hang around, you know, by ourselves and make jokes about the Americans. And we would laugh at them. I mean, just Africans hanging together and laughing at the Americans. For example, you know, we would go to a party in Madison, Wisconsin. You go to a party, you're having a great time, and maybe around 11 o'clock, the police come. And they say, you know, the neighbors are complaining, there's too much noise in the party. Now, you can imagine, as Africans, this was very strange. I mean, you felt you were in a funeral, not in a party. So I noticed these differences. And the Americans were very much on time. And you know, we Africans, we are never on time. We are so laid back. So those years, 6 years, I just observed these things. And then after I came to teach at St. Olaf, I said, I need to write, you know, my observations in order to help other people so that when Americans go to Africa, they are prepared, because otherwise they get frustrated. We go to Africa, you know, with American concepts of time, for example. and then they realize the Africans are never on time. I mean, I like to exaggerate, of course. Some Africans are on time, but generally you can forget it. So I want the Americans to be comfortable with that, to know that the Africans don't mean to be disrespectful. It's their culture. They value relationships. They talk with people on the way as they go to the meeting. They greet everybody along the way as they go to the meeting. You don't just pass people, because you have a schedule somewhere, you have an appointment. The Africans value relationships. And so when the Americans get to this point and they go to Africa, they are comfortable. They will sit there waiting for the Africans. The Africans are never on time. At least the Americans know what is going on. Now, the same thing for the Africans who come here. Very unfortunately, they come here with the African mindset. There's a meeting, in Minnesota here or in Atlanta, and we are told it starts at 9. And if you do the African way, you do the African thing of arriving half an hour or 1 hour late, that's very inappropriate. Or there's a dinner invitation. Somebody invites you for dinner in the USA, and they say categorically it will be at 6:30. In Africa, nobody shows up at 6:30. First of all, you don't even tell people it's going to be at 6:30. You just tell them there's dinner at my place, and people could show up at 10 anytime. So the Africans also need to know this is another country now. We have to abide by the customs of this country. Otherwise, it can be disrespectful if we show up late. So that's my role, to try and help both sides. And it's been a wonderful, opportunity for me. It is, and so you are very right. The book I wrote, is helping people very much. I get invited to speak to various groups that are traveling to Africa, students, people going on mission trips, individuals, people going as tourists. I mean, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing to be able to help people that way.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. This is really important to learn, especially cultural shock for Africans and then for Americans, and learning
very much.
how to be able to deal with that. Thank you so much, sir. Our time is really up. So I would like to ask you before you go, what is your last word for our audience today in terms of learning about cultures, new cultures, assimilating when you find yourself in a different culture than yours? What are the tips that someone can take with them?
I think the most important thing is to be patient, not to take offense. If somebody says something, somebody does something that you don't like, that's irritating or whatever it is, it's better to slow down and say, perhaps it's an issue of cultural differences, not to jump to conclusions. And that's a big challenge. To give the person the benefit of the doubt, and for them to give us the benefit of the doubt. Nowadays, when I'm with Americans and I'm taking them to Africa, I can anticipate the issues that are going to crop up, because I know the Africans will say something and the Americans will understand something else. I can tell something is going to happen. So people should just learn to take their time, not to be judgmental, not to jump to conclusions. We need to learn to do that. We inhabit this world, and there is no way we are going to escape. We will not escape. We are stuck with each other in this world. We have to find ways to deal with each other. Wow. That's what I can say.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. So how can we reach you? How can the audience connect with you?
I am on Facebook.
Too.
I am on Facebook. That's an easy place to get me, Joseph Mbele. I'm on Facebook. I have also blogs. I have blogs. www.josephmbele.blogspot.com. I have another one in Swahili. I will not say this because I don't know how many people speak Swahili in this program here. But Facebook is a good place in my blog. I've also a website.
Okay.
It's a strange name, www, and then africonnection.com. Africonnection is a word I coined, AFRIXION. So I can be reached in this, or by email, josephmbele@yahoo.com.
Oh, thank you, sir. So where can we get your book?
It's available online, Amazon, and there's another online site called www.lulu.com. I know you have published your own book there too. Your own books.
Thanks to you, actually. And I forgot to mention that you were the one. You know, I always say to people that a professor helped me to learn how to self-publish my book. And I'm very privileged to have Professor Joseph Mbele. He was the one who showed me how to publish my book then in prison. And now I've published other books on Lulu. In fact, at this point, I have 5 books, and my 6th book is coming out soon. So, and then I have another one in the works that I'm going to be releasing end of this year or so, early next year. So thank you so much. So
yeah, I remember that. I remember that day I read in the newspaper, in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis newspaper. I didn't know you much, but you had said to the reporter that you had a manuscript and you didn't know how to publish. And that's when I contacted you. I said, look, I can help you publish. It is such a joyful story. Yeah.
I'm really grateful. I will always cherish that moment, and I will always cherish the knowledge I learned from you, because now I'm helping others publish their book, and not even just publish their book. Now I'm helping others make their books bestseller on Amazon. So thank you for that tutelage you gave to me, like since 2009. Yes, 2009. So thank you so much. I'm really grateful, sir. Thank you. So thank you. We will put Professor's information in the description, so you can contact him. You can get that book. Go and get that book and start learning about the cultural differences and start understanding why people behave in a certain way, which might not be the way you learned or grew up with, but it does not mean that it's the wrong way. It's just their culture or their tradition, and it's different from yours. And having a different culture or tradition is not a bad thing. It just makes us all unique in our own ways. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us this time. I'm Professor Mbele. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really grateful. Bye-bye, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.